This is the Smart Beach Investor Podcast, where we explore how investors leverage real estate at the beach to live big lives and build their personal wealth. If you are an investor at the beach or you want to be, you found the right place. Enjoy today's show and be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode of the Smart Beach Investor.
Welcome to the Smart Beach Investor. John Moran here. I am excited you're with us today. We're going to have a really good show, a very informative show. I'm here with Katie Luce, our trusted sidekick. Katie, how are you this afternoon?
Hi, John. Thanks for having me again.
Glad you're here too. Glad you're here. So today we're going to be talking about vacation rentals, property management, and how important that is from a investing standpoint. So if you own property at the beach, a house, a condo, whatever, they can be a great investment. I think, Katie, you're actually looking for one, right?
Yeah, you guys know I'm in the process of looking one.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to talk to Kris today because I have a bunch of questions on the rental side of things.
Very cool. Very cool. So, yeah, I'll give you an example of Kris and I, when we bought, back in March of this year, we bought a condo and it's working out great. Out on Okaloosa Island, we bought this condo. It was $487,000, and we're pulling in, I think almost 70,000, maybe even a little over 70,000 when it's all said and done. So that is a good investment.
That's the exact investment property I want.
Yeah, right. It's great. So they can be, these investment properties here at the beach can be great, just unbelievable, and I love them. The other thing that comes into play when you do really well with your investments, you get that rental income up. It helps when it comes time to sell because you can sell faster and for more money. And most investors look at a 10% rule as a rule of thumb. If you're getting $50,000 in rental income, that equates to about a $500,000 sales price. Anything above $500,000 compared to that $50,000 rental income gets a little sketchy for them. Anything less that if they can buy for $400,000 and they're getting $50,000, it gets better and better from a deal standpoint. So that's what we're going to watch out for.
Yeah, the numbers got to work.
Yeah, for sure. So make sure you max out that rental income. And then the third benefit of getting good rental income is once you get a number of properties, and you'll get there, Katie, is you start owning these things inside of business and you get different kinds of loans. Rather than getting a personal loan to go buy your investment property, you can get a commercial loan or a business loan that has different benefits and a little different criteria for.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
The cost structure changes dramatically as long as you can show good rental income from there. So yeah, they can be super great investments and be wonderful parts of your wealth strategy. You just got to make sure you got the right property management and the right rental income. And so with that in the backdrop, let's go ahead and welcome in Kris Moran. She's full disclosure, Kris is my wife, and she's also the owner of Beach Stays Vacations, a short-term property management company here in Destin, serving the Emerald Coast. So, Kris, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Hi, John and Katie. Thanks for having me.
Nice. So, what are you doing? Are you getting ready to go do photography or meet the photographer, or what did you say you were doing?
Yes, I'm meeting the photographer shortly. We are doing some photography of 2 new properties on our rental program. So
Nice.
I'm getting them ready, staging them, setting tables, getting the balcony set up, getting ready to have the best possible property pictures we can for the marketing and listing.
Right on.
Yeah, so Kris, I already have a question already. So I guess that is a pretty important thing to have the photos and everything before you put it on the rental program so you can showcase it with the best foot forward, I guess. Is that right?
I think so. And of course, your opening photo is the most important one of all because that's the one people see when they're searching first.
Mm-hmm.
Usually that's the balcony, especially if you're on the Gulf and have that wonderful beach view. So we set the table, we set out towels, beach bags, drinks, all of that to make it look like it will when you're on vacation. And I think those photographs really stand out from all the rest.
Picture's worth 1,000 words, and a first impression is just massively important, correct?
Huge.
Hey, let me ask you something. Let's just be honest. We've been doing this a long time. Does everybody do that?
I don't really know of anyone that really does that at all.
I don't either. And it matters. It matters to renters. I mean, think about it. If you're searching, if you're up in Ohio or whatever, you're searching, you see this beautiful picture of the balcony and it's got, plates and wine or whatever out there.
Want to be sitting there.
Welcome home, right? Yeah, totally matters. So, Kris, I want to start out this way as well. The rental market, right? We're coming off a pandemic, right? Everybody knows about it, and I think the expectation when that hit in 2020 was it's going to be a disaster. They closed down the beach and whatever is going to be a disaster, but that has not been the case, right? What are you seeing from
No,
your
I
world?
think everyone really panicked and thought that this was going to be, a terrible time. But I think because of where we're located in Florida, it was quite the opposite. We were at 0% occupancy. I mean, everything in town and outside of town was booked solid for the season. Um, Last year was the same way. Last year was kind of even a little bit busier because kids weren't in school in many places. People were working from home, and they decided, why be locked up in my tiny apartment in the city? I'll come down to the beach and bring the whole family and do the homeschooling from there. So we had that aspect last year. But this year, I think also the pandemic and just, over time, the way people travel has changed. A lot of people do work from home, can telecommute, can do their job almost from
Right.
anywhere. It's easier for them to get away. People are exploring the shorter stays, coming for a weekend. And just the way they travel and the expectation they have when they travel has changed.
No doubt, no doubt. I would agree with that 100%. Let me ask you though, what about here's what I'm wondering. Was 20 a lead up in 2021 a peak? Is it going to fall off in 2022 or what are we looking for from rentals going forward here, do you think, in 2022 and beyond for that matter? What are you seeing?
It's still going to be really hard to travel to a lot of places. Cruises are limited and
Hmm.
have certain requirements that not everyone can meet. International travel is going to be different. A lot of countries are having lockdowns and shutdowns again. We're here in Florida, people, for the most part, we're a drive to destination or a quick, easy flight. So it's still an easy, safe place to vacation that you're not going to have to worry about your plans being canceled or having shutdowns or anything like that. So it's still a safe, easy place. And I mean, we're already starting to take bookings. We took a booking earlier this week for next August. So people are
Nice.
gearing up. A lot of people missed out last summer when we were so full, and they're booking early this year.
Yeah, we're still seeing it. Let me ask you this. From does that mean higher prices? Are you getting higher prices or can we charge and capture higher prices?
I've raised all of our prices from last year, and I think people are going to see that prices are more expensive as demand is still very high. And just like the cost of everything is going up, the cost of everything that goes into a property, if someone's renovating or replacing furniture, down to the toilet paper has gone up in price. So, yeah, things are going to continue to be more expensive.
So, Kris, since you're already taking bookings for August, as somebody like myself that's looking to buy investment property, is there a better time? Like, should I jump on it now so I can start renting it this season? Or is there a certain time that I should get in there to buy a property so it's ready to go to capture all
Well,
this stuff?
the plus of buying something right now is you can do a lot of things to it to get it ready for March when spring break and busy season starts. The chance of buying a property that's just turnkey and perfect is probably pretty slim. So that gives you a little time to go in there to make some tweaks and adjustments, make it very coastal looking, give it the overhaul of what rental guests are looking for, that you'll be able to charge the top dollar.
Okay, so what should I be looking for? Like, I guess on as an investor on the rental side of it, should I have like look for a place that has a really nice view or that already has rental income coming in? Is there something better to help me jumpstart that?
I think buying, a property that has a lot of updates already done to it, because it's going to be hard right now with shipping delays and all of that.
Mhm.
For example, to
Mhm.
remodel a kitchen or a bathroom. But today's renter is looking for an updated space. They don't want old, bathrooms and kitchens and that
Yeah.
sort of thing. The more updated space that you can find that only needs cosmetic touches is probably ideal. But if you bought one now, you still have time, for example, to remove carpet and put in some vinyl plank flooring, do some painting, some art tweaks,
And
getting a
those
few
are the
extra.
new standard. Is that true?
Pardon me?
That is a new standard. I know tile and whatever was a thing, but the wood floor, the wood looking floor, and granite and stainless, is that all still what renters want? What are they asking for, or what are they willing to pay for is really what I'm asking.
Well, in my company, I am selective about the properties that I do take, and I do want, really up-to-date properties with like-minded owners that value the customer experience, and it's just not a heads and beds type of scenario, that we want to give the customer a lot of good customer service, give them a great experience, give them a great property. All of our kitchens are really well stocked with quality pots and pans and pottery dishes and nice glasses and coffee cups and really nice coffee makers and appliances, so that people can cook meals and, do all of that still from home while still having that vacation experience.
I mean, we
So,
go into a lot of these properties, right? And we'll go in these rental properties, and you take a look at the silverware and the glassware and the plates and whatever. It'll be like 4 spoons and 1 glass and nothing. It's unbelievable what some of these properties
yeah.
have,
Mhm.
and they're trying to
And that
rent for that and
doesn't
catch
that
a high
doesn't happen
dollar.
with our company. We inventory that stuff and make sure that everything in there is nice, high quality, in good condition. Pots and pans, you have to replace those almost every year. We make sure if anything's been broken, that it's been replaced, so that people have all that. They open the cabinet and they're pleasantly surprised to find nice things in there.
Yeah, it seems
We
like
do
those small
plastic dishes for
things
outside. Yeah,
can
it's a
really
small
change
thing,
your
but
rental income.
it does. It makes you feel so much better about the vacation experience when you're eating on a nice plate versus like a Corel, you know.
Absolutely.
So those are things that the property owner can address fairly quickly, right? Without massive project management and whatnot. I mean, the floors are fairly easy. You start doing a bathroom or a kitchen, that's a little more involved. And you're probably going to want to wait until later in the year for that?
Yeah, probably some of that stuff you would wait until the fall, but even with, like you were telling them about the condo that we purchased, we're remodeling the kitchen and bathroom in January.
Yeah, but
We've
you
been living,
bought that stuff forever ago, I think.
yes, right, but we've been living all season with the pretty crummy kitchen and bathroom, but I put a lot of nice stuff in it, and great top quality pots and pans and dishes, and a French press coffee maker, a Keurig coffee maker, a standard coffee maker, like anything that anybody could want is in there. And so that kind of makes up for what the cabinets, that the cabinets are in sorry shape.
Okay, yeah, like to kind of get you through the first season until the off season and kind of go in there and really remodel it and okay, those
Yes,
kind of
yes,
little
because
things like
people
that.
are more likely to overlook that if they open the cabinet and they find all those nice, wonderful things in there, and that there's not only 3 spoons in the drawer, like John was saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me pull it back to the owners real quick because we got a lot of owners that are listening to this. How can they increase their income? What are a couple things that you would say, sitting where we are now? We're almost at Christmas time for Pete's sake. What could an owner do? 1 or 2 things that jump out at you, Kris.
Well, a lot of owners need to sit down and look at the numbers and make sure that the numbers that their current rental company are producing for them are in line with what they should be. A lot of them are going to find out they're not. And so then it's really the secret sauce, so to speak, is really to find the best property manager, a like-minded property manager, making sure that your property is outfitted and stocked with all the quality items that we've talked about. I think, for each property that I manage, I make a really nice binder with all kinds of restaurant recommendations, things to do. I try to dumb it down so that someone who's never been here before can have a fabulous vacation just by following that guidebook.
Love that.
Making, great signage in the condo so they know what the Wi-Fi password is. They know what the password or passcode to get into the pool. Like, just to make it as easy as possible so they don't get there and feel frustrated, like we can't even get the pool gate open, or where's the parking pass, or how do I get on the Wi-Fi?
Right.
Just having all that stuff in front of you just makes it that much easier to relax and start your vacation.
So look at the numbers as one. What else? Well, here first, before we go on from that, tell me about the numbers based on your experience now. Let's start. Let's just talk about condos for right now. 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom. What do you think the rental expectation from a number standpoint, from a gross rental income? Does that something you can talk to?
Well, if you have a 1-bedroom property that's renovated and nice and that can sleep 6 people, so I'm assuming that this 1 bedroom has bunk beds and a sofa sleeper, I think you can expect to gross between 55 to 60,000 in today's market conditions
There you
is a
go.
very
Wow.
realistic. Those are the numbers we've produced this year for our one-bedroom properties, and I expect to do that or more next
50 to
year.
60,000 on a one bedroom. Okay, good,
Yes.
good. How about the 2 and 3? What are you expecting there?
A lot of the two bedrooms are doing similar numbers because
Uh-huh.
they
Mm.
still sleep six people. You've got two bedrooms that sleep two each and then the sofa sleeper. So they'll do similar numbers, maybe a little bit higher, but I would say safe bet in this, 55 to 60, maybe a little bit more
Okay,
for
let's
two
let's put a pin on that. Hold 1 second, Katie. This is important, right? A one bedroom with hall bunks sleeps 6 people, right? 2 in the bedroom, 2 in the bunks, and 2 on the pullout. But a 2 bedroom without bunks, but a 2 bedroom condo still sleeps 6, but it's a different cost makeup. So just be careful out there as an owner, or as a potential buyer. If you're looking at a condo, make sure you get either the hall bunks or bunk room or whatever, because it's the heads and beds that matter. Is that correct, Kris? Not necessarily the
Well,
bedrooms, but the heads and
that
beds?
matters, and bed sizes matter too. There are some
Hmm.
bedrooms out there that don't have enough room in the master for a king bed. Only a queen will fit, and a lot of people won't sleep on a queen. So I would think that that's not a good idea to buy one of those properties. You want to have a king size bed, and in guest bedrooms, if you can fit king size beds in those bedrooms, you'll rent them even better too. People like kings.
That's right.
Okay, that's very interesting because as a new investor like myself, I was thinking you got to go for the 2 or 3 bedroom or even more because that's how you're going to max it out. But it's kind of interesting to hear that a one bedroom,
It's kind of interesting, isn't
Now,
it?
some
yeah.
of our bedrooms have done well over 70,000, probably in the 80,000 range. One three-bedroom that I have is a three-bedroom with 3 king bed suites. So we have 3 kings, each with their own attached bathroom. We have a sofa sleeper, and then we have 2 ottomans that pull out into twin beds, so we can actually sleep 10 in there.
But the thing
And
is, they're
that
tastefully done, so it doesn't. It's just not jammed in there. They fit the space properly.
Yeah, it's not jammed in at all. And people love that place because of the king beds, because a lot of people travel with other couples, other families, other, grown children. And so having those 3 king suites, nobody's fighting over who gets the best bedroom. And that condo rents first over anything else. It's bananas.
Mm.
Great. Hey, let me ask you this then. From an owner or from a renter expectations, I know things have changed a little bit now because of COVID, right? And germs and cleanliness is next to godliness and whatever else. Has the renter expectation changed from your standpoint? Have you seen any of this?
I think it absolutely has. And I think that they keep getting pickier and have higher expectations. And it's harder and harder for companies to meet those expectations because there's such a shortage of labor.
Oh God,
So
yeah,
finding
right.
quality cleaners is probably the number one problem for every rental company. So you know this, John. I spent a few times this summer having to go clean condos myself when people didn't show up for work. And my team of property managers and I go in as often as we possibly can behind the cleaners and the inspectors to make sure that everything is up to snuff. Because if someone complains about the cleaning, that's the fly in the soup. That's sets the expectation for the rest of the trip, and they're not going to be happy.
It's so
So
true.
cleaning is really the number one thing of importance that is very hard in today's labor market because
And
it's very hard to have cleaners at any wage.
I think you hit on something too when you said you and your team go in and you've even cleaned some of them. I know you're not a big fan of doing that cleaning work. You got folks for that, but when times require, you are and your people are prepared to show up and step up, which is important because I'm not so sure all property management companies are ready, willing, and able to step up and do some of that stuff.
Well,
Is that
you're
fair to
right.
say?
And so many vacations were canceled this past summer because of those shortages. A lot of vacation companies just couldn't keep up with the demand and had to cancel people's bookings because they had no one to come in and clean. So we made darn sure that we were fully staffed and ready so that anytime anything like that came up, we were ready to go and had everything in place so that we would not have to cancel anyone's vacation.
That sounds like a very important thing if you're looking for a management company, the cleaning thing. Because I'm just like myself. If I want to stay somewhere, I want it clean. That's the number one thing you see right when you walk in the door. So,
Yeah, and I think in the beginning of when Airbnb became first kind of a player in the market, it was really like renting one bedroom in someone's house, and so that person was cleaning it.
Mm-hmm.
And still, some of those things exist where people are cleaning their own, where we use professional cleaners, high heat commercial laundries, sanitizing equipment, all of that
Wow.
to make sure that everything is professionally cleaned, laundered, disinfected, and ready, because that is important to people. They don't want to think that just little old me is inside there cleaning with my Windex. It's professionally cleaned and properly done.
It's absolutely amazing to me how from being a third party, just watching from outside everything, how much expectations have changed because of places like Airbnb and some of these others. It seems to me like a lot of these renters coming in nowadays almost expect a hotel experience, right? And they want to rather than sharing somebody's property or their home like as a Airbnb type of thing, they're almost expecting the Four Seasons and I don't know, a newspaper on the front step and towels to be brought up if necessary or whatever. But that's not
Yeah,
what
they
this
do.
is, right?
They expect there to be spices and olive oil and coffee and things that by, Florida food service laws, we're not allowed to leave those things in condos. But yes, they do have that expectation. And, I think especially some of these really large property management companies just can't hire the staff and keep the quality staff to keep up with the demands of the renters. It's definitely difficult.
Well, we just hear that through work here when we make talking to other owners, property owners, that they have the same issue. It's just rental companies dropping the ball.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't blame them because it's hard right now. It's hard to find maintenance people. It's hard to find cleaning people. It's hard to find everybody. So the fact that y'all are able to do it is really cool. And you are growing. Let me ask you that. Is this something that you're trying to build up? You are you accepting new customers, clients?
Yes, we are accepting new properties. And again, like I said, we are selective about what we choose because all of our properties, kind of the demographic that I'm trying to cater to are the people that are willing to spend a little bit more to stay in a really nice place that has all the things that I talked about. And there is a large demographic of people that's willing to pay for that experience and to have the nicer place. So if it's a renovated, nice property, then yes, we would definitely be willing to take it on with our management company.
Okay, so if one of the owners here is listening and it is now the time of year actually to even look at that? It is, right? We're in the off season. Is
Well,
now?
it is. We've had a lot of the new people that are joining us have been putting in their notice with their rental companies. Everyone has a different contract
Okay.
ranging anywhere from 30 to 90 days. So they're putting those notices in. So some people were starting in January, some were starting in March. But we go ahead as soon as they sign the contract and have given their notice to their prior management company. We are out there getting the photography done, starting to market the property for the date we're able to take bookings and start moving forward with taking bookings.
And wait a minute. How hard is it if they're with somebody else and they're going to go to some new company? Is that a process or what does that look like?
Well, again, it depends on what their contract says. What most people do is they just provide the written notice that as of whatever date that they are canceling their contract. And then we go in and we kind of take over. The old company comes in and takes out their linens. We switch up the door locks, and then we install our linens and our things, and then we're ready to roll on the date that we take over the property. So it's pretty seamless. It's not very difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's interesting, Chris. So because as a new gonna be investment property owner,
Look out.
because I'm like, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start. You get your property manager, and then you guys handle all that at beach days. You get the linens, you get the lock. I just kind of tell you, here's my property, and you guys set it all up and get it rocking.
Yeah, we do everything and we have no upfront costs. We bear the cost of the photography and the staging to get the listing going, of the linens, of all of that. So really everything is in place and ready to go on the date that we are taking over the property.
Okay, because that's
Most
a
of our owners
huge
do
relief
live.
off. Because if you're new, you don't even know where to go, what to start, how this even works. So it's you guys do everything.
Yeah, we do everything. And, most of our owners do live out of state and can't be here to do those types of things. So we really handle it all for them.
Nice.
Cool. I think that's a pretty good summary of what y'all are doing. And I really appreciate you coming on here, Kris. I know you're busy and doing all that, and this isn't your number one favorite thing in the world, but I'm glad you came on to tell folks about what is going on with the property management, because it is a big, massive part of owning investment property at the beach. You get the right team, the right management team behind you, producing those big rental numbers, it changes your whole portfolio and what you can and should be doing. So that's really cool. I'm glad you're
It
out there.
does. And I think a lot of people have had a lot of apathy towards their properties for a number of years and haven't really done the investigating to see, wait, I'm getting $30,000 for properties that they're generating $60,000. That we're not just talking a few $1,000s a year. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars a year that you might be leaving on the table.
Over a number of years. Think about it. You're leaving $10,000 on the table over 15 years. That's a significant amount of money over time.
And yes, and what if it's $30,000?
Yeah. What if it's 30?
30,000 and thought that was a great rental figure and had no idea that we were generating numbers in the 60s. So it matters. It's big business. It's worth doing the upgrades to keep it that way.
So how can somebody listening, if they want to talk to you, how do they reach you? How can they find out more about what you're doing?
Well, I think the best way is to go to my website, which is beachstaysvacations.com.
Okay. Beach stays, more than one, right? Beachstaysvacations.com.
Vacations. Or my email address is admin@beachstaysvacations.com. And that's the best way to reach me.
Very good. Very good. Thanks again for your time, Kris. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Kris. Thank you for always answering all my questions.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, there you go, folks. If you're an owner of a property, house, or condo here at the beach, I know we talked a lot about condos, but if you're an owner of a house or a condo as an investment property, you want to max out your your income on that, however or wherever you can. So I would encourage you to reach out to somebody like Kris. And again, she's my wife, so I got a little bit of an interest in this. But I also have an interest in you. I want to max out your position as an owner. And if you're a new buyer like Katie is, her position as a buyer to get max income from here.
Like the most interesting thing that I learned today from Kris was that a 1-bedroom can do as much as a 2-bedroom. I never thought of that. As a new investment property owner, I was thinking more bedrooms, the better, but it seems like that's not always the case. That's very interesting to me.
That's why people like you hire people like us.
That's right.
Nice. There you go.
Thanks for listening to the Smart Beach Investor Podcast, where we explore how investors leverage their real estate at the beach to live big lives and build their personal wealth. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode of the Smart Beach Investor.